Hanlon, Philip H. Knight Chair in Defense Strategy, Brookings Institution, with us now. What is the Kremlin thinking right now?
Greetings, Leland. Well, I think one of the things they're thinking is Donald Trump finally getting serious about knowing that he's going to have to apply pressure instead of just complaining. And by the way, I'm fairly happy with the trajectory of the last 4 months. President Trump has gotten much tougher on Putin, much more clear-eyed about who is the cause of this war. For many years, President Trump, I think, was denying that, but I'll give him credit. He's recognized that it's time for a shift. He's never going to admit he was wrong. I don't care about him admitting that. I'm just glad that he now realizes Putin is the problem. Putin caused the war. Putin is preventing the peace. The question is, how much pressure is the United States willing really to apply on Russia in a world where Donald Trump has a lot of other issues and a lot of other balls in the air? So I think Vladimir Putin is watching and waiting and observing.
Yeah, you stole my next question, which is it time for Democrats to stop with the Trump is a Putin puppet talking point, which I think your answer just admitted that it is time to stop with that. But what Donald Trump is proposing is something far more aggressive than Joe Biden ever thought of, which is sanctions and tariffs on countries and companies that do business with Russia, that it would strangle Vladimir Putin. And Putin's real puppet, Dmitry Medvedev, his national security advisor and hawk, sort of chirped off about nuclear weapons and chirped off about him attacking the United States. And Trump then sent 2 nuclear missile subs and said publicly, as presidents very rarely do, we're sending these and pay attention. And the Kremlin just backed down. I'm wondering if Putin is realizing that he misjudged Trump's, as you point out, sort of congenial, even willingness to say anything to try to ingratiate himself view with weakness, and now is probably a little scared of what Trump might do.
I think I'm not sure he's scared yet, but I think you're right that he's reassessing his assumptions. And it's not that common to say good things about both Biden and Trump in any American political debate, but I think Biden handled this Ukraine conflict pretty well, and now Trump is starting to handle it pretty well. The problem is we need to figure out how to apply enough pressure on Putin and Russia to get them to change their policy. So it's one thing to be able to have good talking points for a TV show or a press release, but I think what we are facing now is the reality that Putin hasn't quite figured out how much he has to worry about the United States. These nuclear subs, that's not a huge deal, and I'd rather not do nuclear sub. But the question is economic punishment. And as you said, Trump is now raising ideas and possibilities that have not been previously discussed. Some of those could really make Putin reassess his future aims, and I hope we will turn up the pressure tenfold.
Fair enough. Agreed on that point. Michael Hanlon, good to see you as always, my friend. Thank you. Always nice to have somebody on who's willing to admit when things change.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.